behind me. Little bastard. "Be down in a few minutes," I say. There's a crash from the hallway. "Damn it, Amos! Where's my grandbaby? You leave Will alone again. I told you don't come up in here drunk. Should be at home with your son and leave that nonsense on out in them streets." Mama Sugar slams my door. Voices, muffled and not so muffled, bicker than apologize. There is again stillness and suffocation, and your eyes, like his, flutter open and shut, fighting against rest. But finally you fall asleep. I tie a clean scarf, light pink, on my head. It will catch the sweat on my brow as I work in the kitchen. It won't catch tears, though, but I lie and say they're sweat. I wrap you in a blue blanket and have the same thought I always do. How long would it take for you to die if I place a pillow over that nose like mine, but those eyes like his? I won't, though. I'm not a monster, and I have enough to answer for. My friends have enough to answer for on my behalf, and so I'll take you downstairs and let people fuss over you and treat you like a little king. I'll try to ignore you and this constant rolling in my stomach and dampness on my flesh I can never seem to keep cool and dry. The hallway is dim. Amos' door is closed as he snores and sleeps off whatever mischief he discovered during the night. "Sarah? Sarah, girl, come on down here and go get me 4 green tomatoes from the garden." The stairs are steep and winding. There are 17 of them, which I count in my head. I watch them in your face, because any jostle will wake you, and I'll have to try and get you back to sleep. Please don't wake up. And you don't. Maybe there is a God. Mama Sugar's husband sits quietly, patiently at the table. "Hey, little man," Mr. Vanellis whispers, as his tall, slender, dark frame lumbers up from the too small chair at the kitchen table next to Mama Sugar. "Can I hold him for a little while, Sarah? He seems to wake up when you put him in that crib." "Sure. Thank you. Me not having you in my arms is fine. I can use them for better things, like picking perfectly ripe green tomatoes from the garden." "Stick to the vines nearest to the shed," Mama Sugar orders. "Those ready to be picked. The other one's gonna need another week, probably more." "Jesus, Lenny, mate. She's smart. She know how you like things. You worse than a drill sergeant ever was. Let the poor girl be," Mr. Vanellis whispers, but his voice is still deep and commanding. He rocks you gently to and fro as he sits down again, the bottom of his pants briefly revealing a flash of steel covered by a black sock and a shoe beneath that on his right leg. I turn away and go into the garden. It is quiet there. The air doesn't cling so much to me. My fingers squeeze the tomatoes, making sure they don't sink too far into the skin. The alabaster 3-story house with the bright red trim stands clustered together on Hubert Avenue, with smaller houses on its right and left. A black hand-painted sign with the Scarlet Poplar lazily swings in a slight eastern breeze. Creaky wood stairs serenade my ears as I make my way back into the house. Mama Sugar nods in approval when I bring back the 4 tomatoes. I take the biscuits from the oven. Soft thuds on the floor above knock some dust from the ceiling, but I've already covered the food, and Mr. Vanellis is satisfied you're sleeping deeply enough to place you in the crib with the faded flowers and peeling paint, the one that held Mama Sugar's daughter before she died of pneumonia at 4 years old. Her name was Bonnie Lee. "Well, Memphis ain't gonna wait for me to get these cars back on the road. Least my customers ain't," Mr. Vanellis declares. "Least you could do is grab your son. Make sure he get an honest day's work. Amos like being with you, and only he get those engines running the way they need."